Hi everyone, so in yesterday's video we went for a little test drive in George. We went by and had a look at that car, the one was in the garden, and I managed to see the guy, and when I got back here I said I'd have a quick look at the exhaust, which I did, which you'll see in the video now. Obviously I've got George onto the drive. Let's have a quick look around. Let's see if we can see anything from here. Wow, look. Let's have a look here. You can see here, look. Although it's not wet at the minute, you can see it looks like a damp patch. Tank's pretty rusty, isn't it? So we need to have a little clean up there and just see. Like I say, that runs pretty close to your tank, doesn't it? Well, it does on this car, look. That'd help with the evaporation, I'd have thought, with the heat. And if it was leaking and this was hot. There you go. Oh, it's had a bit of filler in there. It's okay around the spring hanger by the looks. But that's not what I'm looking at this minute. It was where the exhaust is actually hanging from here. I don't even know if there is another one. Let's have another look. Actually, let's see if I can get up on the wheel ramps. It'll be a darn sight easier to have a look. Well, I'll leave the camera here because, as you know, it's always fun putting cars up on wheel ramps. We'll see how we get on. A little far out, do it. Give it a go. Good luck. Well, as you can see, George is safely up. Just need to find one of my chocks. I think they're both under the van because I left the handbrake off. I'll just borrow one of those. I'll stick it under my front wheel just to make sure George don't roll, but got the handbrake on and we got it in gear. Can't get that one out. See you on the other side. That'll do us. Like I say, if I'm going to leave a vehicle a little bit of time, I like to leave the handbrakes off. That's why I always stick the chocks under the van. Stick that under the front of George. Rightio. Looks a bit of a state, doesn't he? But that's the way I like him. Stick my little try under, and I'll just have a word with Gemini because she's playing with a lucky stone, which won't be lucky if she breaks her teeth or get it stuck in her throat. Gemini, what are you doing? Leave. Shall we find your ball? Just find her ball. She's like, got this little ball here. She loves playing with this. You gonna fetch it? Fetch! Come on. Bring it here. Good girl. Here. You gonna fetch? Fetch! Good girl. Good girl. You're getting good at this, aren't you? Hey? Good girl. Last one. Ready? Ready? Good girl. We're having a look at what's going on here. We've got this one on the back. Is there any more? I don't think there is on there, is there? Yeah, there's a strap here. Peeling a bit, George, but nothing has gone through as yet. Oh, there's a very, very rusty bit there I'm not too keen on, which might need some attention soon. Anyway, let's try and stick to what we're meant to be looking at here. This is where it actually bashes onto the bottom of the car, or onto this cross member, just rattles against it. Although at the minute it is a little bit away, but as you know, mainly like when the car's a bit cold, I'll rattle more. Like I said before, it's probably going to rain again in a minute. It's not a major problem, but it's more of an annoying than anything. So I think I would like to actually move it this way a little bit, because it seems a bit close to the fuel tank on the back there, but also it's not falling straight. If you look here, the bracket is going that way. So if I loosen something up here, I'll either snap or it will move. I can move it this way a touch, and that might help. Let's get some spanners and see if I can move that. So what I'm doing, just giving these bolts a bit of a wire brush and some WD. I did put a bit of WD on them, but I shall put a bit more on before. It will burn on the exhaust when we restart, but that will be nothing to worry about. That will soon burn off. Well, I'm going to let that soak a few minutes, but if you see what I mean, I think it's kind of going that way. If I can make it come this way a touch, that might help, but we will see in a bit. You never know your luck. Or the bolts will snap and I'll have to get a new bracket clamp. I know, innit? The clampers, well, the clamping broke. The bolt has snapped the bracket, or the U-bolt. Would it have worked? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that would have took that away from there enough, just by twisting that round a bit and bolting that there. Would have gave that enough clearance so it weren't knocking on the bottom of the car. Wonder if I've got one of those laying about, or can I take this one off and just leave it on the back one for now until I can get one. Decisions. Let me whip it, see if I can undo the other one or break that off. We'll see what happens. So they both broke, snapped off completely, but I did expect that to happen. If you look, that's still fine where it is. And we've got a a bit of a gap there, so really what, a slightly longer one on the back and another one. Well, this one would have been alright if it was done up there rather than pulling that back closer to the frame there. That gap there is probably enough. But have I got any of these clamps? Yeah, that's that back one was too long, too short, was pulling it up because I could hang down and then onto this one. So we want another one of these and probably one for the back. Might as well undo it and see what happens. Or try and undo it and see what happens. That'll probably snap, but I'll give that one a go and I'll see what happens. Well, as you can see, I just need to undo this to get this clamp off. So that one hung on there. If we look, let's just get back in the middle. If we look there now, we've got plenty of clearance. So ideally, it doesn't need to be right up like that. It just needs to be somewhere there. Would be fine. So therefore, we need either a longer strap here or a bigger clamp to hold it down, and then a new clamp for the middle, which will be fine. But I haven't got any clamps here, I don't think. I'm going to have a quick look in my box of tricks in a minute. We'll see what we got. So what we've ended up with is really two broken clamps, no further forward. Like I say, I'll have a look in my box of tricks. When I'm looking here, it was like that. What it needs to be is this side, so that hangs from that side on the clamp, and that way I'll be further away from this tank. But this tank is something I want to have a look at, because I think be leaking somewhere there. Like, we kept it in the spot on the ground which I thought was from the axle or somewhere, but now looking at this, it could have even run down from the inside, from where the filler goes in. Where is the filler? Here? No, I think that would have been down this side. That tank's got to be have a minute simp. What I think I'll do is try and clean that up and put a little bit of tank sealer on it or something, put some paint on it. Something's definitely not right there. Might even be further up here. Need to get the light under there and look. Right, one job at a time. If I look at these bolts, something's been bolted in here. Maybe what it looks like is this piece here was probably rotted out. New piece of the rear boot was let in, cut out. As you can see, it's been cut here and bolted, and then tacked in a couple of places underneath, and some sort of filler or something there. Yeah, so obviously that piece is fairly new. Like I said, I think around the spring hangers is okay. Right, let's have a quick look at my box of tricks. Like I say, by the looks of that sky, it's going to rain any minute. So I'm going to pick up these bits and pieces first. And if I get a chance to do it, I will. If not, well, looking up here, looks like something's run down from up the top. But may that may well be that something has run down to here, and it's not. Let's have a look where the filler goes into this tank. Need to unlock it. Lie down, Gemini. I'll put Gemini in the car because she seems to settle better when she's on the back seat. Hang on. Right, I've moved some of this stuff. I'm wondering whether either fuel spilt here and run down, or whether on this bottom seal that's been leaking there when full and running down and getting down the side of that tank. Who knows? Who knows? First time I've had this out to have a look. Some sort of foam has been put in the back here, which is all good for stopping the noises. That is obviously mine for my fill can. What is that? Who knows? Let's have a look into this. Some bits of hoses. Old fan belt. Jack. Cool. Right, I've had a look in my box. I can't find any at the minute. There may be some somewhere, but it'd probably be best if I pop out and get a couple of brackets. I might have to finish this off tomorrow if it's not raining. Luckily I don't need George for the next couple of days, so he can quite happily sit there. I'll have another investigation after I get this finished. Clean that fuel tank off. Just see if I can suss where there might be a leak. If indeed there is. Who knows? Right, so we'll leave this for now and I'll pick it up when I've got a couple of brackets. Rightio, so if we continue from yesterday, luckily the weather seems okay today, so I've got a little bit of time. I'll try and get on with this exhaust. I didn't get a chance to have a look around for some brackets, but got a couple of clamps here I bought yesterday afternoon. I've also got some brake cleaner, just used it to clean something, so I can have a go at cleaning the bottom of that tank, just where I think it might be leaking. But like I said yesterday, I think now maybe that may be coming from the filler and running down the side of the tank, either where it's been overfilled or just seeping out of the join. There's a little rubber section that joins the filler cap to the actual tank. I will test the screws and just check whether that is nice and tight, but I need to get on with the job in hand, so I've got a couple of clamps. Hopefully they'll fit okay. I'll just grab them and we'll see if we can move this exhaust slightly to the left, so that'll be the other side of where that was fitted. Hang on, I'll just show you what I mean. I probably mentioned this yesterday. So the clamp on it was like this. So the exhaust sat that side, and what I want it to do is sit this side, so it's further away from the tank for a start. And if you look here, you can see what I'm talking about, where it's probably run down here. May even be something spilt inside, who knows. I'm going to go for probably when you fill it up it leaks around the tube. That's not a great repair, but I don't think that's going to cause us any problem. Right, let's get this exhaust fitted. Let's get the bracket round there, and then I'll show you what I've done. Bracket is perfect, so I've put it so it's going the other side, so it's way more room between the exhaust and the tank. It's not like any burning hot air because it's the end of the tailpipe of the exhaust, but I still need it to be a little bit away from the tank. It was just too close with that the other way. And I'll go back to the middle section there with this other clamp and just offer it up, and we'll just see what the gap is with this there. Only needs to be 2mm, and that will stop that knocking on the bottom of the car. So that's nice and simple. Just nip them up round there. We'll go to the other one, which is here. Maybe turn the spanner over, a little bit better idea. Just nip that round this one. You'd think he'd have had some sort of lock washers or something with these clamps, but they haven't. But never mind. Never usually have a problem with these coming undone. If anything, they break when you try and undo them, as you saw with the other ones. They'll just be on here forever. Right, yep, I'm pleased with that gap. You might think that's not much, but that is far more than what was there before, I can tell you. It was literally touching it. So it's probably more the case of not going up and hitting it. It's probably coming away and coming back and hitting it. So that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that's that little job done. Just having a quick look at these spring hangers over here. They're a little bit rusty, but they're not falling off. I've seen these right through the car. I actually bought one once, and one side was through here, and on the back of the leaf spring on the other side was through at the back. But managed to repair it. It does look a bit daunting if you never had any problem or never seen anything like it before, but you just take your time, just build up the metal and replace it. You can buy all patches what actually just fit in there, like a panel with the spring hanging on, or do I do and just make something up, just bend a few bits of metal in a similar fashion. Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's have a look at the tank while we've got time. So there's that exhaust fixed, far as I'm concerned. We'll find out when we take it for a test drive, but I don't think we'll have any problem with that. If you look on the floor there, you can see that's what brackets broke. They always break, but they're only cheap. I think they cost me 99p each, so it's a nice cheap fix. Right, while we're here, let's just see if these can do with a couple of turns. Oh, look at that, look. That's ridiculously loose, that is. I want to do them over tight, but just enough. To nip that up. That's fine. That's better. Judging by this one, that's going to be the same. Actually, let's see if I can move that round. I don't know whether he had the tank out when, no, Lisa is, had the tank out when he did the repair on the back gap, as we saw underneath. Panel which runs here has been replaced, so he may have at least taken this off. I could have done with a little stubby screwdriver to get in here, really, could I? But they weren't tightened up, and I've got a feeling, yeah, I'll see if I can loosen that off a bit more and spin that. And look at this clamp, looks like the bottom part of the clamp is not even on the hose, like it's just off the bottom of it. Might not have been the problem, but I need to rule it out, don't I? Well, I'm going to need 2 hands, so I'm just going to shift that up a bit. I mean, that's better. I'm going to put it up here and also move it round so I can get to that screw. But that pipe is probably fairly old. Could even be starting to perish with the years of unleaded fuel. But it seems okay, so I'm just going to give it a good tighten up and we'll see what happens. So that now is really, really tight, and it's actually on the hose and not off the edge. Also, when you fill these tanks up, if you just keep filling up, it's obviously going to start coming up into the neck of the filler, and if fuel's sitting in this rubber part, that's going to seep out, I think, especially if that was loose. But I never really try and fill it up. I may have did the first time I filled this up, filled it right up till it stopped a couple of times, maybe on the pump, which you shouldn't really do. There's a bolt here, I don't know what that's for. Oh, never mind, can't keep touching things. Yeah, I'll just normally put, I don't know, 20 quid in and then fill up again when it gets a bit low. So that might have been the reason for the fuel, but I'm still going to clean the bottom of the tank up a bit, just in case I can find anything that's not looking too good. Right, let's do that now. Yeah, I'm quite convinced if you look at this mark coming down the side, this tank, that's come from higher up, maybe, who knows. I've got a wire brush, I'm going to give it a little bit of a going over. I don't want to go too mad on it because I don't want to cause myself a bigger problem, but I don't think originally, because I kept seeing the here was like a wet patch, and I did see some on the ground. It's like melted the, looks like an underseal or something on the bottom of the tank was melted, which would have meant either the fuel was leaking here or that had run down. Now I'm thinking that's run down. I'll give it a bit more of a clean up, maybe get a bit of paint on it or something. Right, get a light on this now, see what we can see. Looks like at some point the tank has had a bit of a ding here, but I don't think there's a hole. That's some kind of tank sealer there. But it seems like I said, this stuff's kind of melted down. Would be showing where there's petrol on it to melt it. But judging by this metal here, I think it's all okay. I'm just going to concentrate a bit on this area, and if that's fine, then I'm going to say that was obviously running down here. But here looks a bit shiny, and so does here. So I'll just have a little bit of a look at that. A good clean over now. Even gone over it with some sandpaper. There's a couple of small dings in it, but that's still solid. When I first looked at it, and it was obviously like this, flaky, and there was a where this stuff had melted, like where there'd been petrol on it. I thought maybe there was a hole, even a pinhole, but I still think it's okay. It just looks worse than what it is. So I'm going to say that's through the neck of that, or something spilt inside. Spilt petrol, putting it in, it's run down the outside of the tube even, sat there, come through. But there's no hole in the tank, so that's a good thing. Little bit of oil on the differential, but I noticed when I put it up on the ramp I did get a little bit here, but to me that would say because it's been filled, and when it's up in the air that's leaking at the front. So you can see there's a bit of oil round underneath. A few rusty bits still to check out, but most of it is just a surface rust really, what could do with being cleaned off and put a bit of paint on. But like I say, there's nothing to worry about. So now what I need to do is just probably put a bit of paint on this, get a few more of these flaky bits off, stick a bit of paint on it, stop worrying about it. Let's have a look here. See, that's been repaired before. I'm not sure whether, no, I don't think I did that repair. I think that repair was done even before I had it. It's not the best, but it's okay, it's not falling apart. As long as that spring hanger's not falling off, that's all I'm worried about. And I don't know if you can see with the light there. That's all good, they ain't falling off, that's the main thing. That'll last for a few more years before I need to do anything with that. It's just nice to have a look. I'm not going to have time to get the wheels off today, so that's going to be another day having a look at the brakes, but I'll just see if I can get a bit of paint on this. I've got to keep an eye on the time because I've got to walk Gemini down and meet the missus. Right, I think what I really need to do is, when I got more time, have a more investigation just under the back. I think I'll get the back wheels off and just have a look underneath the wheel arches as well, check those brakes. But at this moment in time, I'm going to say that tank has not got a leak. I've just stuck a bit of paint, what I found in the shed. I just use anything I can find. Any bit of paint helps to preserve stuff, makes it look nice as well. So just stuck a bit of paint on there for now. I will be cleaning it up a bit more underneath the back here, and when I've got more time, like I say, I'll get the spray gun out and give it a spray of some underseal just to tidy it up. But just want to check the main places first, that I don't need any more welding before I stick a load of underseal on. But as a quick look, I think it's alright. There's a rat moggy go. I'm just keeping him on the road. So with that, I'm going to back up now. Got the wind's geared up, it's probably going to rain in a minute. Have a clear up, and I think I'll end this video here. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up, maybe a comment. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.